All right. Hopefully everybody could hear me. Welcome, Facebook. Today is, I believe today is Sunday, and tomorrow is going to be New Year's Eve. Anyway, long story short, I wanted to go live again. Hopefully everybody saw my live yesterday, and my goal is to continue to go live and continue to provide value to the marketplace, doing something a little bit different today for those that we are shooting live, obviously, today from the iPhone. We're using a new lens, which I'm excited to share with you guys after we kind of run this test. But this is a new lens, new little setup. But anyway, I said that, in the headline, everybody laughed at me until they realized they could do it as well or do it also. And what I meant by that is right now, for a lot of you, you may or may not know, I currently am either a host or a co-host on 3 different podcasts. And a lot of people don't realize the power of voice when building your audience. If you didn't see my live yesterday, go check it out. I talked a lot about some different books and things that had added a lot of different value to me. But when it comes to creating content, that's what I'm talking about. Creating content for your target market, for the people that that is your potential client. And so if you hadn't had a chance, I'd made sure that I didn't have to leave you guys. I brought the book here. This is the new book, Digital President. You should definitely get you a copy. You can go to Michael Reese book, shameless plug. But this book, it talks about, in the book, I talked about, the only one principle. And the reason I came back on mainly today was I got a couple private messages from people who watched the live, and they were asking me questions about, hey, what content could I create? How do you create your content? What kind of content? How do you decide on what content, to put out there? And so I wanted to address a few of those things by adding value and telling you some of the things that I've done, what I found that's worked. One is, being a good marketer starts with understanding your ideal customer. And a lot of people have what we call as FOMO, fear of missing out. So they try to talk to everybody. And, honestly, we could have an entire, 2-day event on really the different segmentations in the audiences that you can create with whatever your business is, specifically for, the real estate community. You can target all different types of segments of the market. But the most important thing that you have to understand is that everything you're doing, a lot of times when you're growing a business, everything that you're doing is being consumed out there in the marketplace, every message. And so one of the things that we like to make sure that we tell people is really nail down your core content. So for me, when I look at core content, I really try to identify exactly what it is that my ideal customer is trying to accomplish. And so we created a thing called the goal process. And the goal process is, I can't share my screen with you obviously right now. If I could, I would. But the goal process starts with really understanding the core desire of your ideal person. What are they trying to accomplish? And people do things for one or two reasons. This is something I learned from Tony Robbins, which is they'll do more to prevent pain than they will do to create pleasure, but they're doing something either for pain or pleasure. And if you can understand the desires of the outcomes that your ideal person is trying to achieve, and then you can identify the things that are preventing them from getting there. And so in the book, we talk about, in Digital President, in the book, we talk about an example of the goal process is somebody who wants to invest in real estate. They might have a lot of problems. I mean, some of the best invest in real estate trainers in the country, they train people how to buy real estate with no money. Why do they do that? Because there's so many people who have that problem. That is a huge message. It's we call it a dog whistle. Someone's out there and they know someone who's done good in real estate, which everybody knows a story of somebody who's done well, whether it's flipped a home or they watch something on TV. The bottom line is they have a problem. And it's either they don't know how to buy a home, they don't know how to pick an agent, even if they did have the money, they don't know how to find the good deal, right? And so if they can't find the good deal, if they don't have the money, if they don't have the contractors in order to help them fix the home, our good friend of mine right now, a really good friend of mine, did all of those things, right? But he can't get the dang thing sold. And, he's watching things online and listening to different people telling him that the market is shifting and now he's concerned. And as long as a homeowner thinks that tomorrow will be better than today, they might negotiate a little different. But when they think tomorrow could be worse, that's when they start taking less than they would. And those are things that you just understand when you serve that community. And so whatever community you serve, which I'm gonna assume here, because I've helped so many real estate agents, professionals, I'm gonna assume that you're probably a real estate agent. And that's the community you serve. One of the things that I wanted to talk about was the content, and that is the content. The content, I could literally how to find I could interview somebody who helps people buy homes with no money. I could interview someone who actually has bought a home with no money. I could interview, and this is content. I could go out there and do the research of the different programs and find out the things to prevent when trying to invest in real estate with no money, and all the things that you can consider. And all of those things are contents, whether you're the subject matter expert or you have access to them, that's the content that you could be delivering to your marketplace if that was your ideal customer. So what you have to do is you have to realize that everybody has content. The goal process just simply says, hey, listen, think about running a marathon, right? I want to run a marathon in 2019. Okay, what do you have to do? I mean, there's a lot of things you have to do. You got to get you're going to have to get shoes. You're going to probably have to learn some nutrition, because I can tell you if you run for more than 2 hours, you need to be taking in at least 100 to 200 calories. Why do I know that? It's because a year ago, I did my first ultra marathon, which was a 62-mile race, which started at 7:30 in the morning, and I didn't get done till 1 o'clock in the morning. And I learned in that process of training for an ultra marathon, you need salt pills, you need ultra shoes, which are wide on your feet so your toenails don't fall off, although mine did. But I had to learn a lot. And there was people out there in that community that had published YouTube videos, published checklists, published training schedules. And let me tell you something, when I had made my decision that that's what something I was going to do, my wallet was out on the table. It was out. Just, what do I need to do? Who do I need to talk to? What do I need to do? So here's my thing. I wore this shirt for a reason. And in the book, chapter, I believe it is chapter 2. Let me confirm that real quick. But chapter 2 of the book is called The Hitman. Hitmaker. There's a quote by Seth Godin. Don't find customers for your products. Find products for your customers. It's an amazing thing. It starts out with, if you haven't seen The Art of Flight, I'm a big snowboard guy. Starts out with the story about Travis Rice, and it goes into how they created this amazing production. If you haven't seen The Art of Flight, it's one of the most amazing produced documentaries ever. And from this, I don't know how to say it, sigmatography or whatever. I don't know. Anyway, you know what I'm trying to say. Anyway, it was cutting edge. They actually shot it in Skywalker Ranch, which was, if you've ever heard of the world famous Skywalker Ranch, it's where like Dolby Surround was developed and installed and yada, yada, yada. But anyway, I tell the story about it because the whole point was they crushed it. They nailed it. And this says Hitman. This says Hitmaker. And the thing is that if you're going to produce content for your audience, it's got to be, in my opinion, good. And what does good mean? It's got to really be something that is going to produce real value, right? You don't want to be a carnival marketer, which is also something we refer to in the book. And so, the question is I didn't wear the Hitman shirt to tell you Hitman. What I wore it for was because I wanted to make everybody an offer. If you go to digitalpresident.com, which is the name of the book, you can do one or two things. One of the things I think you can do is you can hit start here. But I did tell everybody I'm creating this YouTube course. It's not a YouTube course. It's actually a course on video and how to use video. It's going to include YouTube. It's going to include live video, creating content. It's really just what I would say is it's a hit because we're hit makers, right? But we're producing this content, and I'm going to give it to 10 people. One of the reasons I'm going to give it to 10 people is I want feedback. That's one of the things is Elon Musk says feedback is better than gold. So if you're producing something for the marketplace, when you're in the nail it, not scale it, when you're in the stage of making sure that you produced a real valuable training or let's say customer experience. If I'm going to list your home, and I'm going to get feedback from the customer and find out what things they like, they didn't like, yada, yada, yada. What can you do in order to make a great experience? The point is, if you would like to get that training for free, the first 10 people, this is my word, I'm going to give it for free, that go to Digital President. I'm just making sure it's here and up. But if you go to Digital President and you get this shirt, which I believe it's on the site under the resource page, you'll have to go to resources. I don't know, it's $10. But get the shirt or hit store. It's under store. So if you hit store and you order the Hitman shirt, which there's a couple different colors, and then you send me an email of your receipt. Send it to Michael at Michael Reese Team, TEAM. The first 10 people, what I'll do is I'll give you the course I'll include you in the course. We'll do a little private call. That's just my way of trying to produce a hit. I'm trying to demonstrate by showing you how I produce hits, which is by getting engaged. If you remember this. Remember what this quote said, which was chapter 2 of the book, which is this customers, right? And so my goal of understanding, people that watch this, that are willing to take those initial steps, there's something that you're trying to do. There's something that made you watch the video that you're trying to do. You can be trying to recruit real estate agents to your office. You could be a real estate broker. You can be a real estate investor. It doesn't matter who you are. If you watch this video, for some reason you watched it, you said, you know what, I'm going to go get that cool shirt. You don't have to get it in white, but I'm going to go get one of these cool shirts and I'm going to send it into Mike and see if I can do it first. First 5 people, I'm going to give you access to this class. So anyway, that's just a plug. So understanding how to deconstruct anything there's a book. Let me tell you, this book, you should go to YouTube, Google it, whatever you want, but there's a book out there called Learn Anything in 24 Hours or Less. And it's written, I can't remember the guy's name, but it's the same guy who wrote Self-Made MBA. Let me get it real quick. MBA. And I forget his name, but it's an amazing book. Let's just go Learn Anything 24. Maybe it's 20 hours. It's a yellow book. It says the first 20 hours. And it's written by a gentleman named Josh Kaufman. He wrote another great book. But anyway, it's yellow, has a guy riding on a bike and the training wheels are falling off, how to learn anything fast. Let me tell you something. That book is good, but if you watch the YouTube video of him, it's the art of deconstructing. If you've ever had to give a keynote or have actually had to teach somebody something, deconstructing the process in which you teach are basically, to me, that's gold. Because, all of those little pieces that go up into making the whole are all independent pieces of content. They're all, someone's success at something is just a sum of their decisions over time. And people do research. Like I did a research. One of the things I found out is that the best live videos, that best length of time is 18 minutes. 18 minutes. A good live video is going to have a good hook at the beginning and it's going to create a lot of curiosity, right? Those are things. You can learn anything. You can learn how to do live videos. You can do anything. But that book is amazing because it'll teach you how to deconstruct anything you want. Not only to learn, but if you want to flip it, it's then to teach. If you can deconstruct what you do, that's all a book is about. One of the things I said in my description of today's video was I actually wrote it down so that I didn't ramble past everything, but plus one book that proves anyone can build an audience that helps them attract clients fast. This is the book. If you haven't seen this book, it's Ask Gary Vee. And I did not realize this, but I've had several copies of it. But these are all This is literally just a collection of questions that he's answered. There you go. You ever have your clients ask you a question? You ever write out the answers to them? If you did, you could put them all in a book right here, F&Q. Hey, listen, I know you're thinking about doing business with me. Here's a book of the most commonly asked questions. This proves anybody, it doesn't matter. Every question asked to you by somebody in your field of expertise based upon what you're trying to accomplish is potential content. And last thing, I just wanted to end with this book. For those of you who don't like this video, if you don't like this video, then this book is for you. It's called Hug Your Haters. Anyway, it's a great book. How to Embrace Complaints and Keep Your Customers. Anyway, this is a good book. It actually, it was written by a guy named Jay Baer, which he's one of the leading authorities in content marketing. That's how I got turned on to the book. Is I actually, I followed him for a long time based upon his expertise. And when he came out with this book, I thought it was pretty cool. I just like the little emoji, Hug Your Haters. It is a good book. You should read it if you're, if you have customers and you want to keep them happy, or you have someone who deals with your customers, customer service people. It's a great book, so you should check it out. Anyway, so with that being said, if you haven't got Digital President, go get a copy. If the first 10 people, like I said, that, and here's the thing, assume that there's going to only be 8. I mean, I'm not doing a ton of these videos. I am committed to doing them and hopefully inspiring other people. I hope I'm a spark that starts a blaze for other people who know that they need to make a commitment, that they know that, because there's a lot of things in content. You don't even, we're not even talking about the real lifetime value and the compound effect of producing content consistently for your marketplace. We're not really getting into that. But if that's something that interests you, then check out the book, Digital President. I do believe that it'll help you nail the positioning, the messaging. It'll give you an overall, I think it'll be a handbook, or guide, if you will, roadmap for helping you build a business of attraction. And so anyway, thanks for everybody who watched today. I am going to, the lens that I used, if you want to know what lens I used to shoot this, or you would like to know any of the accessories, I'm shooting wirelessly on a Sennheiser mic. That's going through a couple adapters. I got a little ring light, yada, yada, yada. But I have basically a checklist of what you should use if you want that. Just put checklist in the comments. And when I get the video filmed, which will be probably a week and a half, I'll send you, I'll look at your name if you put checklist in the comments, and I'll promise you that I'll private message you a link to the checklist of what we're using to shoot video. And even if you're not wanting to shoot video now, you might know someone else that will, and it might be something of value to them. So with that being said, thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you tomorrow.